All dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Hello guys, I welcome you all back again to a new video from InfoZone Lecturette. Hoping that you guys are doing great. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So guys, today in this video we are going to talk about Afspa, that is Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Further in the video we'll look about what is Afspa, followed by the major facts about Afspa, then its bit of history in a brief, then followed by what are the powers armed forces having with this act, and then why it was vehemently opposed in the northeastern states, and further we'll also know that why it is known as a necessary evil. Afspa, that is Armed Forces Special Powers Act, is a series of acts created by the Parliament that empowers the armed forces to maintain public order in the disturbed areas. Afspa, in a way or the other, can be taken as a guard for the peace and safety and security of the national citizens. Now, talking about Afspa, when Afspa is in imposition, the forces can prohibit the gathering of more than 5 persons at a place, can arrest any person without any warrant only on the basis of suspicion, can enter or search any premises without any warrant, can also ban the possession of firearms. Also, the person who is in custody can be handed over to the police. AFSPA is only imposed in the disturbed areas. The Section 3 of AFSPA notifies an area to be disturbed. The central government and the governor of a state can declare a state, a union territory, or a part of it to be as a disturbed area. And the state governments can just give recommendations for the same. Also, the government's judgment of declaring an area to be disturbed is beyond judicial review. The only thing that is government requires to declare an area to be disturbed is to just put up a suitable notice in the official gazette. For those who don't know, an official gazette is the legal newspaper of a country or of an administrative part of a country which publishes the text of new laws, decrees, regulations, treaties, legal notices, and court decisions. The text published is the authoritative version and commonly the only published version. AFSPA can be invoked in places where use of armed forces in the aid of civil power is necessary. Moving ahead and talking about the history of AFSPA. AFSPA can be dated back to the British era. It was during Quit India movement in the year 1942 when ordinances were promulgated to curb down the heavy violent practices in the states like Bengal, Assam, East Bengal, and the United Provinces. Further, it was also imposed in 1947 during the severe security crisis during the partition. Further, it was imposed in Assam and Manipur in 1958 under the Afspa Act of Assam and Manipur. It was also imposed in Punjab and Chandigarh in 1983 when the demand for Khalistan movement was soaring up. Further, it was also imposed in J&K when insurgency started in 1990s. Now, talking about that, what are the powers armed forces are having with this act? The armed forces can use any kind of force against a person acting against law and order. The second, these forces can stop and search any suspected vehicle, can destroy armed arms, hideouts, prepared or fortified shelters or training camps. Also, the armed forces officers have legal immunity for their actions. As earlier said, the government's judgment of declaring an area to be disturbed is beyond judicial review. Also, AFSPA provides protection from prosecution, suit, or legal proceedings to the persons acting in good faith under this act, except with the sanction of central government. AFSPA further received a vehement opposition in northeastern states. It was largely opposed due to the impunity it provides against human rights abuses, violence unleashed, and the infringement of fundamental rights. Also, the constitutionality of AFSPA is under question. As you all know, that the Article 20 and 21 of the Constitution can never be suspended. But when AFPA is imposed, it takes away your civil rights, which include the right to life, right to liberty, and right to assembly. Further, demand was also raised for repeal of Afspa. Many civil rights activists and a committee headed by BP Chivit Reddy have requested the repeal of Afspa. Also, many civil rights activists have termed it as outdated and of colonial era. Further, Supreme Court has also upheld the validity of Afspa. The opposition was so vehement that can be decided that activists like Chanu Sharmila took a 16-year hunger strike to repeal or revoke the Afspa. Now, talking about Afspa, it is currently imposed in the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland, and Mizoram. States like Meghalaya and Manipur have also witnessed the imposition of these acts. But at present, they have been excluded from the list. Now, coming to the end of the video and talking why Afspa is known as a necessary evil. It is a necessary evil to eradicate the internal disturbances and to keep a bond between the center and state during such internal disturbances. Moving ahead and talking about the pros and the cons related to Afspa. The act has arguably and controversially been very successful. It has nearly stemmed insurgency in most part of the Seven Sisters, with Afspa being lifted in Assam bordering districts of Arunachal. Conversely, the bill has been seen as herald of severe human rights abuse too. There have been unfortunate cases of excess by combat troops. None of them are justified, but all of them have been punished by military tribunals and GAGs as and where the complacency and accusations have been proven. On the other hand, this act has been used to malign the image of army at many occasions. Separatists alleged that scores of local women were raped by our troops. However, with the women in question flip-flopping and changing statements constantly, the case was thrown. Yet, the damage was done. Facing an incredibly hostile population, the pressure on the forces is tremendous. Stones, acid bottles, and even brutal ambushes like those at Pulwama recently exemplify the normal routine forces have to face. An ordinary soldier in such hostile environment away from home has to face the brunt of it. So friends, that was all from my side. Hoping that this video added another bunch of knowledge into your minds. If you did like the video, then please do hit that like button and do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, if you have any doubt or you want a video on any topic, please do comment it down below. So with that note, I take it off from you guys. See you in the next. Till then, keep learning, stay safe, and stay happy. So with that note, I take it off. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.